Hello, welcome to the Empower Series podcast. My name is Clifton Johnson, and I want to welcome you and all of the viewers in the United States and around the world. I am so excited about today because today we're going to talk about the power of collaboration. Yeah, I'm going to share with you some personal stories of relationships that I formed in the very beginning of the Empower Series to even just last week. Actually, I met the co-founder of Deaf Poetry Jam on HBO. So I'm going to talk to you about all of that. But more excitedly, I believe that if you go back to our previous shows, I was looking at some YouTube programs back in 2017 where we had Munson Steed come and talk about the collaboration principle. I'm going to talk about some nuggets from that and how I applied them in forming the Empower Series, even to today, some of the new relationships I'm forming right now. And my hope is to transform your life, to give you some jewels and nuggets that's going to make this time watching the Empower Series very valuable for you. So in the meantime, before we get into that, before we dive in, as I always say, if you're looking at this and you haven't shared us with somebody else, please take the time to do so right now. There's somebody in your circle that can benefit from finding out about the Empower Series. So go ahead, take the time to share it, let your peeps know what you're watching. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. If you're watching us on Facebook and you haven't followed us, please do so. You can leave comments, do all of the things to engage, provide comments. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about. Share some of your personal stories, as well as if you want us to talk about something that's unique or empowering to you, go ahead and put that in the comments as well, and we'll respond to every comment. So like I said before, we're going to talk about the power of collaboration. And there's a couple of people I want to bring to your attention. I may have talked about this before, but there's a gentleman by the name of Gary Zukav. He wrote the book, The Seed of the Soul, right? And I'm going to read a couple of quotes, and then I'm going to tell you what that means to me. But in his two quotes, he says, the human experience is a mystery. No one can fully understand it. We can only share our own experiences and our interpretations, hoping that they might help others. The other thing he says is that when we share our experiences with others, we give them a chance to see their own lives in a new light, and we help them to understand themselves better and to make more conscious choices. There's another phrase that he says in his book that says, there's no expert on the human experience, right? And you can call the human experience sometimes the human experiment, because we do things, we see the results, and then we see if that works, we'll do it again. If it doesn't work, we'll do something different. But what I like what he says is that in sharing our experiences, which is all we can do, we're helping people. The best we can do is help people move through life more gracefully. They can think more effectively, and they form like an artist the matter of their lives. So my intent in this podcast today is to share with you my personal experiences, my collaborating experiences when we started the Empower Series, also two new relationships I just formed last month and last week, in hopes that you look at your lives with some new insights and can take these experiences that I've had and apply them in collaborating with people around you, and will help you be a better angel watcher. So what's an angel watcher? An angel watcher is that next person that you're going to meet that will take your life to the next level, or take your opportunity to the next level, give you an opportunity. I always say that you can only be blessed through people. So if you're not engaging, forming new relationships, trusting relationships with people, being open, letting them know what you do and how you can be of value, then you're blocking your blessing. So Munson Steed talked about being better angel watchers, and collaboration is a core piece of that. So you might be asking, who is Munson Steed? So Munson Steed is the publisher of Rolling Out, and Rolling Out is the largest chain of African-American owned weekly newspapers in the country. And like I said before, he came to the Empower Series in 2017. He did a program called the Collaboration Principle. So definitely search for it, Collaboration Principle, listen to it and apply it. A couple of things that he mentioned in that, he talked about the acronym for MONEY, which is manifesting opportunities and negotiating everything yourself. So manifesting opportunities and negotiating everything yourself. That's one thing that I have to look at. Am I really negotiating my relationships, my job, my contracts with clients, negotiating everything. And am I manifesting my opportunities? Am I really being a good steward of my ideas? And realizing that what manifests is what we believe and what we give our attention to. So I like that. But more importantly, he talked about being better angel watchers and really using collaboration as the tool to get the things that we want in life. And he challenged us. He challenged us to say, if you really want more out of life, then you got to look at collaborating with more people. And he gave a number to it. He said, why don't you come up with 100 new people that you can collaborate with over the course of a year? That's the target. And he challenged us with that. And he said, really, when you look at people who have collaborative relationships, these are people who are continuously learning, they're adding value to themselves, and they're feeding their soul. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the collaborative relationship I formed back in 2010 and 2011 when we started the Empower Series. So you may know that a long-term partner of the Empower Series has always been Comerica Bank, and I want to appreciate Comerica Bank because they've been a partner since the very beginning. I shared the idea with Irv Ashford Jr., and he heard my idea, and he gave us the funding to do our first event. But even prior to that, I was looking for funders to help me put together an event that I envisioned. That was back in 2010. And I was talking to a number of people. There was the senior vice president of HR at Comerica Bank called Leslie Sabbath. And Leslie, I met with her a few times with a gentleman named Will Murphy, and she wasn't able to fund our project, but she said, I know somebody who has the money in the budget who could, and it was Irv Ashford Jr. So at that point in time, Irv Ashford Jr. was the Texas Market Community Development and External Affairs Director. And he wanted to hear my vision to determine whether he was going to allocate some money to us. I started trying to reach out to him in 2010. It took me an entire year to do so. I finally got in touch with him in January of 2011, and he met with me. I pitched my idea, and he said, okay, I'm around 90% in. Give me some time, and I'll get back with you to let you know. And he decided to fund me with $5,000 back in 2011 to bring in Dr. Dennis Kimbrough to kick off the Empower Series, or the concept of the Empower Series at SMU back in March of 2011. So again, that's out there on our YouTube channel as well. Just Google Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, SMU Empower Series, and you'll see that program. So that relationship, I did a fast forward to it, but that took a year of me meeting with Leslie throughout 2010, her introducing me to Irv Ashford Jr., and me not meeting with Irv until January of 2011. And then when I met with him, he blessed us with $5,000, and that was the beginning of a long-term relationship with Comerica Bank. They've been supporting the Empower Series for 13 years. They have given us as much as $80,000 in a given year, but over the whole course of the 13 years, they've given us $435,000 over 13 years to help us bring to the community the concept and empower individuals and communities like the Empower Series. Now that's just a drop in the bucket. They do a great job with other community partners in building long-term relationships and really helping individuals and businesses succeed in the communities that they serve. But I want to give a lot of appreciation, respect, gratitude to that long-term relationship that I formed with Leslie, Irv, and all of the other people who work at Comerica Bank and their charity foundation for granting us the funds to do what we do today. Now, this year, they funded us $25,000, which is a reduction from previous years. But that's, again, they funded us. We just got that check last month. And overall, it cost over $300,000 a year to bring to you what we do in cash as well as in-kind donations. So we're always looking for donations and other relationships, collaborative relationships with people who like what we do. That being said, as a caveat, this month is North Texas Giving Day month. And if you're not in North Texas, you may not have heard about this. And even if you are in North Texas and you're hearing about this for the first time, North Texas Giving Day is a day in September, which is actually the 19th of September, that's a Thursday. where if you have a passion for a nonprofit organization and you want to help them with your time, your talent, or your treasures, time meaning that you want to volunteer, your talent if you want to help them increase their reach, operate more effectively, and help them achieve their mission more effectively, or if you want to make a donation, this is the time where you have the opportunity to, broadcast that. Share your nonprofit on your social media accounts, let people know about it, let them know why you are involved with that nonprofit organization, as well as make donations. And the larger you cast your net, the more people your nonprofit will help, as well as the more potential funding your nonprofit will receive. Now, we are the Empower Series, so if you're feeling the Empower Series, if we're your baby, I would say definitely give us your time, your talent, and your treasures. We are open to donations. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see that there's a banner that you can click on and go to the profile for North Texas Giving Day. You can actually give now because they have early giving starting September 1st through the 19th, but they can, on that day, they're going to tally up all of the giving that was provided to different nonprofit organizations from September 1st through the 19th, and then they'll tally that up. And I would just really encourage you, if you have small, new nonprofit organizations, we can really benefit and help, and benefit from your help in letting people know about us. So if you love the Empower Series, if the Empower Series has transformed your life, please take the time to share that on your social media pages to let people know what the Empower Series has done for you. And that way, they can get what they're supposed to get from the Empower Series as well and share it, and we can make a bigger impact in the world. So I just want to give you I know I kind of deviated from that, but it's along the lines of building relationships. So when I built the relationship with Comerica Bank in the very beginning in 2011, had no idea that it would go for 13 years. It's going to go for 30 years or even more. And the donation, regardless of the dollar amount, any little bit helps, whether it's $5, $10, or even $25,000. So Comerica Bank has been a long-term partner, and we need more. And so right now, I'm looking for additional strategic partners and also financial support because we need to reach more lives and transform more lives. But I wanted to talk to you about that because that's one example of a collaborative relationship that was formed back in 2011 and 2010 that has brought us to today. So I'm just thinking about, if I look at what Munson Steed has talked about, identifying more people to collaborate with, I want to share with you the second story. So what I've done, and you can do this as well for whatever business or concept you have, I went to LinkedIn. And you know how you have your first degree relationships, people you know or you've connected with, but then there's a second degree relationship, which are not people that you've connected with directly, but it's people that are your 1 degree of connections, and they know. So I filtered my second degree connections by people who had in their title, community. And I sent them all an introductory email. I'll read to you what I said. I said, basically, I would like to expand my network. And I would like to also discuss collaboration and to see how we may be a blessing to more lives. And then I just asked, who do we connect with? And I sent them a link to a short video from Dr. Randall Pinkett, who talked about his thoughts of the Empower Series and how he felt every entrepreneur should be a part of the Empower Series because we are transforming lives. And so I had him just do his testimonial. And as a result of that, one of the executives from Independent Financial called me back. Her name is Kelly Desserens. So Kelly Desserens is the Senior Vice President and Director of Community Investment of Independent Financial. And they are going to partner with us for our next event coming up on Thursday the 19th. Just happens to be the same day as North Texas Giving Day. We're going to do a workshop on the path to home ownership. And I'm going to talk to you about why we're doing that. But when I sent out that email or that connection request and she responded, she said, hey, let's have a conversation. She looked at the videos I included. She did her research on the Empower Series, and she said, I would like to have a conversation with you. So we scheduled a Zoom meeting that next day, and we had a more in-depth conversation about what they're looking at doing in the communities that they serve. And they serve communities in Texas and Colorado. And I talk to them about what we do of empowering communities and individuals and connecting them to resources that they don't know about, which are underutilized. Now, they have two programs that I felt are not known by the people in the Empower Series community. So number one is they have a mortgage product that allows people to purchase a home with 100% financing up to $500,000. It could be a 30-year mortgage. Also, they allow you not to put anything down. So you don't have to put down a down payment. You do have to pay your pre-taxes and insurance, but you don't have to come up with a down payment, which has been a hurdle for a lot of people to get into a home. And then also the credit score can be as low as 620 and possibly even lower. But what I found out is that they're not getting enough applicants. And they want to encourage people in certain demographic areas where they serve to really become homeowners. So I said, okay, well, let's do this. Let me get you connected with the people I know, so I'm giving value. And then also, let's do a workshop. Let's do a workshop in the community that you want people to buy homes so that people can know about you and your resources. So she said, I'm all in. So we're doing a workshop at UNT Dallas. That's in South Dallas off of University Drive. And it's going to be Thursday, the 19th in the evening. We're going to start at 6 o'clock. We're going to have refreshments and networking, an opportunity for you to collaborate and start building some relationships. And then we're going to do the program at 6:30. At 6:30, we're going to live stream it like always. So if you're not able to attend in person, you can see it on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. But I encourage you to come. And even if you are not in a position, or if you already have a home or you're not interested in it, it may not be for you. There's somebody in your circle that this could be for. So get this right. Their program is called the Community Path Mortgage Loan. And that Community Path Mortgage Loan allows people to purchase a home with no down payment, get real, and also they don't pay a PMI, which is the mortgage insurance when you don't put down more than 20% for a mortgage. So there's other options. So we're going to talk about more than just that. We're going to talk about the home buying process, give you some tools and some resources, and allow you to build the relationships with the right professionals to help you be prepared to buy a home if you're not prepared. But if you're looking for a home and you're ready to go, this is a resource that I believe that you should know about. And the second resource they have that people don't know about is our business loans. They really want to help people start a business, especially those people who have been underserved. So whether it's women, whether it's people of color, if you're in that group, they really want to make sure that they're giving you the education and the tools to qualify for those loans and then actually apply for them. So those are two tools. We're going to address the homeownership this week. At another time, we'll address the business loans. But I know right now they're working with the Oak Cliff Chamber of Commerce to help business owners. I think there's around 13 business owners that are going through a course to be prepared to apply for those loans. And what I want to do is I want to connect them with other Chamber of Commerces in the cities that they want to support and advocate for business loans and business growth to give them more access. So my goal is to be a good giver of value in us collaborating. And at the end of the day, our collaboration is not about benefiting the Empower Series, or it's not about benefiting Independent Financial. It's truly about benefiting the lives that are going to be blessed by the people who are actually buying a home or getting a loan to take their business to the next level. And so I always say that when you look at a relationship, you get four things out of a relationship. Or a relationship are either going to do four things: either add, subtract, divide, or multiply. So you're either adding value, you're taking value, you're multiplying the value, or you are dividing it. So in my opinion, two people collaborating are pouring into each other's lives. And as a result of that pouring into each other's lives is a multiplication of blessings of other people. So that's an example of another relationship that has been formed through collaboration. And that collaboration was simply through a LinkedIn reach out. So if you're looking at developing relationships with other business owners, I would say that the goal is to reach out with something of value. And my first reach out was I wanted to expand my network. I wanted to discuss collaboration, and I wanted to see how we may be a blessing to more lives. That's it. I wasn't talking about, hey, I want to meet with you to see if you can give me funding for the Empower series, or I want to meet with you to see how you can buy my product. It's like you want to see how we can be of value to each other, and as that value to each other works, is really blessing more lives. So that's another example of how I ran across someone new last month, and in September, look, we're doing a workshop and we're going to bless more lives. So please, if you know of anybody, get the word out. Now, the other thing I'm going to talk about is how I met the gentleman who co-founded Deaf Poetry Jam. So it's a long story, but let me just tell you first, there's a young lady by the name of Felicia Atlas. She is the CEO of a company called Dallas Boss Inc. She also created a company called Fort Worth Boss Inc. I met her back in 2022. So here's what she does. She's the editor, and she manages the operations of a magazine called Boss Magazine, which is building opportunities and structuring success for entrepreneurs and businesses of all sizes. She's also the host of Dimensions of Greatness podcast. So she's a vibrant, smart, energetic, God-fearing and guided woman. She's full of love, wisdom, and she shares a lot of her energy and expertise in helping other business owners grow their business. She's a visionary, and she was always doing these events. And one of the other Empower Series speaker, his name is Jay Mamie, was a speaker at an event in 2022. So I've never been to her event before. I went to support my previous speaker. So I went to the event and I met a lot of people. I love what she was doing. There's a lot of energy in the room, a lot of business owners, a lot of vendors, and a lot of people looking to advancing themselves. So I wanted to be a part of that. And she offered me an opportunity to speak like Jay spoke at this event that I attended in 2022. However, every time she had an event, it was always on the third Saturday of each month. And on the third Saturday, you know what I'm doing. We're doing the Empower Series somewhere. So I wasn't able to speak. Recently, she asked me back in August, would I be available on the 24th, which was the fourth Saturday of the month? And I was like, yeah, I had to change my schedule. I was going to be out of town, but I said, no, I'm going to leave out of town later or maybe even cancel the trip. But I felt like God was opening up an opportunity for me to speak. And it was her second anniversary of the Start Something conference. So I went there and met a number of great people, new business owners, and I did my talk, actually inspired some people, told them about the workshops that we're doing, and I'm going to end with telling you about what Dr. George Fraser has said about networking and what people should do. And the number one mistake he says that people make when it comes to networking and building relationships is not following up. So I'll tell you what happened. On that day, which was a Saturday, I met some great people, got their cards and contact information. I was going to leave the next day to go out of town, but I stayed up late and I followed up with everybody that I met. I sent them an email, thanked them for sharing their story, told them about how their story inspired me, and put something personal there. And then I told them about the Empower Series, and again, that I wanted to look at how we could collaborate to be a blessing for more lives. And at the end of that, I went out of town, and one of the gentlemen that I met called me back and left a voicemail message. His name was David Morgan. So David Morgan is an insurance agent. He has a company called the Family Insurance Company, and he focuses on index life insurance. And so when he left a message, I was out of town and traveling, so I didn't get back with him until a couple of weeks when I got back in town, and we talked. So we talked just last week, and when we had a conversation, what was really interesting is that I'm also a registered representative, and I'm not really, I'm not really looking at buying life insurance at this point in time. So from a product perspective, I'm not a client for him, but I still want to know what his business was all about and what he was doing and how I can be a resource to him. But he was doing the same to me. And so what he did is he gave me 2 names of people that can help me increase the reach of the Empower series. So Bruce George was one of them. That's the co-founder of Deaf Poetry Jam. And then another gentleman that's out of Atlanta. And so he gave me those 2 names, and then he told me what he was doing, not just in real estate, but also not just in insurance, but in real estate. And he was looking for, could benefit from having a mentor in Texas because he just moved here from Chicago. So I went ahead and gave him a contact of a mentor in Texas, as well as other mentors using SCORE. And he had used SCORE before, but he didn't know that SCORE provided mentors. So I connected him there. So we both, in that first meeting, number 1, we followed up, and number 2, we added value to each other. And so from there, he introduced me to Bruce George. And like I said, Bruce George is not only the co-founder of Deaf Poetry Jam on HBO with Russell Simmons, but he also is the founder of a movement called Genius is Common. And Genius is Common is a global movement. And I sent him an email, and the email I sent him was simply this. Here's what I said. So I'm giving you an example of how I reached out to someone that was introduced to me. I didn't know, but I didn't reach out to him saying, hey, can you help me? Can you do this or do that? What I simply said was, David Morgan asked that I connect with you. And David and I met at a Start Something entrepreneurial event in Dallas last month. I run a financial literacy and personal development nonprofit organization called the Empower Series. We hold in-person and virtual programs that provide hope, inspiration, and education, and connection to resources to help people achieve their personal, professional, and financial goals. Here is an introductory video to our YouTube channel, and that was it. So I just wanted to reach out to him, introduce myself, and he did his research, came back to me with an email and said, hey man, I'm very impressed with what you're doing, let's connect. So we connect, and when we connected, he told me about the Genius is Common movement. Now, let me back up a little bit, because David told me why he introduced me to him. He said that he had a movement, and if you paid a fee or something to that extent, you're able to get access to share your business or what you're doing to a larger group, to the people in the movement. And so I knew that there was some kind of cost to it. And I did my research as well. I Googled him, I looked at podcasts that he was in. I knew who he was, and I knew more about him than just me calling and not knowing anything. And so when we talked, he gave me some more in-depth information about why he started the movement. And it's deep. We connected on a lot of levels. You know, on this podcast, I've talked about that we all have a unique talent and a unique purpose in this world. And the world is waiting for us. The world is waiting for us to do what we are designed to do. And everybody has one. Out of the 8.12 billion people in this world, we all got something unique, and there are people waiting for us to touch them, to deliver our message to them, and they're just waiting for us. So the Genius is Common movement is very similar to that. And so he's busting the myth that you're only a genius if you score 130 on a test. Says everybody's a genius. Everybody has skills. Whatever you're doing right now may be your genius, right? Or it's your path in developing that. So whether you're a teacher, whether you're a professor, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a scientist, whether you're a street sweeper, you can be the best street sweeper there is, and that is your genius. So it doesn't really matter what your IQ score is. What really matters is that you are perfecting this talent and fulfilling the purpose that you've been given in this life and in this world. And so we really connected on that level. So he told me a lot more about it. And actually there's a fee of joining the movement of $150. And I went ahead and paid it because that's nothing. It's a lifetime fee. Membership, it includes you, your significant other, and any children you have. So that's not a problem, because the movement takes money to run. And I'm sure that's nothing compared to the cost of actually running the movement. So I paid the $150, but the other thing he has a business directory. In the business directory, you can get a free listing if you are a Black-run nonprofit organization. So if you are the founder or your board of directors the founding board of directors have some color to it, then you can put your nonprofit on their business directory at no cost. So I'm like, man, I'm all in. And so I did that. And so we worked together last week to put my listing out there, and I'm able to put not only my listing out there, but I'm also able to put my events. So what I'm getting is a broader reach with the Genius is Common movement to let people know about the Empower Series and what we do. And then I also have access to the other people on the directory to collaborate with as well. So my goal is to collaborate with 100 people over the next 12 months. And this is one way of me doing that. And my purpose in collaborating, again, is to be a blessing to multiple lives. So I wanted to share that with you because if you want to find out more about Genius is Common, you can definitely Google Bruce George, you can Google Genius is Common. One of the things that I'm going to do, and I haven't done yet, is I'm going to make a short video, and I'm going to talk about what my genius is and what we do with the Empower Series. And I'm going to let you guys know that genius is common, right? Let's break the myth. You know, whatever your expertise is, you're probably doing it right now. So I would tell you that my expertise is financial empowerment, is community engagement, and is really helping you and inspiring you to take actions, being a better steward of your ideas, your time, and your relationships, so you can manifest your unlimited ideas and thoughts that are in your mind, so you can achieve your goals, whether it's personal, professional, or financial. So I'm gonna put my video out there, but again, if you wanna find out more, if you wanna talk to me about that before you reach out to Bruce, just email me at thrive@empowerseries.com. I'll give you more information about that. But I wanted to share that with you because I think it's very important for you to understand that you are unique. And in those three examples, whether it was the Comerica example, the independent financial example, or my connection with Bruce George and how that came about, there are angels around you. There are people around you that if you just reach out and let them know what it is you're about, the fact that you want to understand what they're doing and see how you can be a blessing to them, they can be a blessing to you, and they can help you take your idea to the next level. So we must all be better angel watchers. One of the last things I'm going to share with you is Dr. George Fraser wrote a book called Click. And the title of the book is called Click, 10 Truths to Building Extraordinary Relationships. It focuses on the art of genuine connections in both personal and professional life. So I'm going to share with you what those 10 steps, those 10 truths are, talk about them a little bit, and then kind of leave you with the opportunity to put in the comment section what you've got out of this. What Munson Steed also said is that he never goes anywhere or spends time with anyone that he doesn't have an intention to be transformed or to get something to benefit out of it. So my intent here is to give you some value. So at every Empower Series event, I always want to give you hope that you can achieve your goals. I want to inspire you to take action on your ideas. I'm going to educate you, which is what I'm about to do right now, and how to build extraordinary relationships. And then I want to connect you to the resources that will help you take your idea to the next level. So whether it's you connecting with Bruce George, or whether you connecting with the Empower Series, or connecting with me so I can connect you with whatever organization, I'm all in. So the first truth is being authentic. You got to be yourself. So present your genuine self to others. Don't try to fake it. Don't try to be something that you're not, because it's going to be seen. I remember, I remember somebody told me that that I reminded her of a cat, and she said that because she said, her cat used to hide under a table like this with a long skirt. And the cat used to think that the cat was hidden, but the cat had like a big tail, a big butt, and it would be hiding out, and it was obvious. So my comment to you is that whoever you are is very obvious. If you're faking it, it's going to be seen. So my comment to her was like, are you telling me I got a fat butt? But basically, the truth of the matter is be authentic, be yourself, right? I know some of you are thinking that's not even funny, but hey, I'm being myself. So be authentic, rule number one. Number two is add value. So you know that example when I talked to David Morgan initially, the first thing we did is we added value. He gave me names of 2 people that he felt could help me take Empower Series to a wider audience. And what I did with him is I connected him with a mentor in real estate here in Dallas, since he just moved here from Chicago. So whatever you do, offer something of worth when you meet somebody. Don't say, hey, come and say, hey, you sell my product, or talk only about you. Find out truly about them, because the one value that you can offer anybody is if you understand what they do and what they're looking for. You've got around 250 people or more in your network that might be looking for what they have to offer. So add value first. That's truth number 2. Timing is everything. So it could be the right person, it could be the right product. Everything could be on, but if it's not the right time, it's not going to work. So be mindful of the right moment to connect. And just because it's not the right time doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. I gave you the example of how I was working with Comerica Bank back in 2010 with Leslie, and that didn't manifest itself until January of 2011. So it wasn't the right time. I always say when things don't come about when I plan it, then it's an indication of who's really in charge, and it's not me, right? So be mindful of timing. Timing is everything. The 4th truth is build trust. So establish credibility and reliability. And the way you build trust is that you just do what you say you're going to do, and be authentic, and just keep your word. So that will build trust. It'll build credibility and reliability. Keep your word and give freely. There's a book I read called The Go-Giver, and one of the rules in there is it says that you will build an army of ambassadors if you truly put other people's interests first. And there's a lot of people you can meet that says, hey, if you scratch my back, I scratch your back. I just had an interaction with somebody who's feeling like things should be reciprocal. And I don't really deal well with people like that, because when I give, my give is complete after the give. And I'm not looking for anything in return. And when people are kind of giving to me and they're looking for something in return, that usually is a conflict. So in this truth, give freely. So he says, offer your time, your knowledge, your support without any expectation of immediate returns. So he says immediate returns. The way I look at it is that your return may not even come from that person. Your return is going to come from the universe. So you're going to get something in return regardless of whether that person gives back to you. You shouldn't be given for that anyway. So that's his truth. George Fraser says, give freely. And I'm just giving you some examples in my life where I find that works out better. And then also be a good listener. So actively listen to others and show genuine interest in their lives. So I know that there's sometimes you're talking to people and they're just talking away and you're thinking, man, are they breathing? It's like you want to catch your breath. When I find that people are really talking a lot and I'm noticing that they're talking, I'm just focusing on them. And I realize that sometimes when people are talking a lot, that's an indication that they're probably not being heard. They haven't had the experience of being listened to. So I truly practice listening. And I'll tell you personally, my daughter was telling me that she wasn't having the experience of being heard and listened to. She gave me a book entitled The Lost Art of Listening. And it was hard for me to really get that, because I felt like I was listening to her. But when I read that book, I realized that it's a rare experience to really to have the experience of being heard. A lot of times when we're talking, we're exchanging information and we're thinking about what we're going to say next, as opposed to just really going deep on what that other person is saying, and our response being a clarifying question or a deepening or affirmation of what that person has said. So truly, being a good listener is actively listening to others and showing genuine interest in their lives. Another way of saying that is, I would say, listen to somebody at the level to have a change of heart. That's some deep listening. So that's the rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is follow up. Like I said, with David Morgan and I. So maintain contact and nurture relationships over time. So the relationship I had with Leslie over the course of a year led me to Irv, which led us to a 13 5-year relationship with Comerica Bank, which I'm hoping is going to lead me to a 30-year relationship, and it's going to be passed on to the next steward of the Empower series. So again, follow up, maintain contact, nurture relationships over time. One of the things that I tell students is a lot of times when they're looking for jobs and they're coming out of college, they're always asking for something. And I tell them to build a relationship before you come out. And what you can do is you can always tell the other person what you're doing and how what they have done has inspired you or has deepened your learning as you're going through your school. But just staying in touch with people and let them know what's happening with you. The other thing you can do as a student, if you're looking at what value can you give somebody, is if you really understand what someone is looking for, you have a network of other students that are looking for opportunities. So there might be somebody in your circle that might be a great match for an employer, even if they are an employer and looking for a position, to fill a position that you're not a candidate for. It's important for you to stay in touch with them anyway, because you can be of value. Don't only have relationships with people that can do things for you. Look at how you can be a resource and add value to them. And so following up is very key to maintain contact and nurture relationships over time. Being patient is number 7. So being patient means building strong relationships take time. So whether it's following up over time, being a good listener, realizing that timing is everything, be patient, because I always say that when things don't happen the way I would like them to happen, then it's a reminder of who's really in charge, and it's not me, right? So being patient, realizing that things will happen at the right time, at the right place, without any unnecessary angst when things are not happening fast enough for me. The last 2 is to be positive. Be positive, have a positive attitude, because that attracts like-minded individuals. And we've all been around people who are not positive, and that energy is just a drain. So definitely be positive. One of my favorite comedians, Michael Collier, always has a positive attitude. He says he wakes up on awesome every day. So one of the ways that you can have a positive attitude is to be grateful for everything that you do. And he says, when you wake up in the morning, you've already won. Because there are people who didn't wake up today and they have plans today. And so there's going to be a time that we don't wake up, but until then, when we wake up, we've already won. So there's no reason not to be positive, but we always have a choice. One of my favorite authors, Napoleon Hill, puts it this way. He said there's 2 envelopes that you have that you can choose to open up. One has a lot of negativity, the other one has a lot of positivity, and it's a choice. So if you choose to open up the negativity, that's going to filter your experience for the rest of the day. Or you can choose to open up the positive one. And the positive one always has to do with gratitude. So the fact that we are of sound mind, if we have a sound mind, that we are physically able to get up, that we're able to see, that we're able to hear, we have our limbs. And if we don't have our limbs, right? If we don't have some of the things that we take for granted, we still have the ability of our mind. We have the ability to think. We're a genius at something, right? So you always have something to be grateful for. One of the things that checks me when I'm focusing on the challenges, because Les Brown says that life is a battle. Life is a battle over the territory of our minds. So we can choose to look at negativity, look at the news, look what's happening with the politics and all of that stuff, or we can choose to look at our goals and what we've been blessed with and what the opportunities are in front of us. And if we focus on them, the relationships we have, the opportunities we have, so it's a battle. But being positive is not for punks. It is hard sometimes when you look at all of the things around us, especially if our current circumstances are not what we want. It is hard to be positive, but that's where you build up the inner strength and you win the battle. You win the battle. You might lose some of the war. Let's say a war is bigger than a battle. So you might lose a battle some days, but you want to win the war. Basically, it's going to be a fight, and it's not easy, but be positive. And then the last one is to be grateful. And I kind of led into that. Being grateful can lead to you being positive, but express gratitude in the relationships in your life. So whether it's your family, If you got people in your family that are not that supportive, then you seek out a family member that is. Or if you have nobody in your family that is supportive, then seek out a friend that is. If you have nobody in your circle that is inspiring you, that is encouraging you, then you got me. Reach out to me. Call me, Clifton Johnson. Thrive at empowerseries.com, because I have created the Empower Series to be like a community support group. I was born in South Central LA. I have a lot of good friends from there, but there's also a lot of people that I chose not to associate with. And my environment wasn't always the best, whether it's at home or outside in my neighborhood. So if I can be a support to you, if I can be that beacon of hope, if I can be that beacon of inspiration, then that's why I'm here and that's why you're watching. So the book is called Click, 10 Truths to Building Extraordinary Relationships, Being Authentic, Adding Value, Timing is Everything, Build Trust, Give Freely, Be a Good Listener, Follow Up, Be Patient, Be Positive, and Be Grateful. Overall, his practical advice about building strong, lasting relationships is based on mutual respect, trust, and a genuine connection. So I hope in that past 30, 40 minutes together that you've gotten some kind of nuggets from this, that you've gotten some type of hope by listening to my experiences and collaborating, that there's a possibility that you've got an angel that's around you that can help you take that next step or be that next opportunity. I might be that angel, right? That I've inspired you to take some type of action. If you've taken some notes, or if you got to go back and listen to this again, hopefully I've given you some nuggets of ideas that I want to encourage you to take action on. I know I've educated you by sharing with you the 10 Truths of Building Extraordinary Relationships by Dr. George Fraser. And at the last, connecting you to resources. The Empower Series is a resource to you. If there's anything that you're looking for in the area of personal finance, business, or professional growth, professional development, or even in relationships, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have somebody in our Rolodex and in our contacts that we've collaborated with that can assist you in taking the next step to achieve your goal. So with all that being said, I want you to mark your calendar for September 19th. That's North Texas Giving Day. I would say give to your charity that is of passion, that you're passionate about. Help them in increasing the awareness or volunteering your time or making a donation. If the Empower Series is it, you always go to our website at www.empowerseries.com. You can make a regular donation at any time. You can give us your contact information and let us know what you want to volunteer for, or you can click on the image of North Texas Giving Day and actually be part of the tabulation of how much donations we received during the North Texas Giving Day program. But again, stay connected with us. Follow us on our social media account. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed to us. Share us with somebody else. And until we meet again, be empowered and inspired to thrive.